Getting the yard cleaned up, or not really cleaned up, but tidied up for the big storm that's coming in. Last week, I was fighting my lawnmower. This thing was pissing me off so bad. It's the propane powered one. Turns out the issue was the carburetor cleaner. The carburetor was gummed up with some grease. But I was so pissed at it I didn't even feel like filming. I discovered something though, a very bad thing with running your engine off propane. Never open up the carburetor in a closed room, because I thought I would just clean the carburetor on my bathroom sink. Evidently, the mercaptans, the chemical that gives the smell to propane and natural gas, it like congeals or accumulates inside the carburetor bowl. So whenever you open up the carburetor bowl after using propane on your lawnmower for a year or whatever, that thing smells so terrible. I had the smell in my nose for like a day and a half. I thought I was smelling propane everywhere. So if you do choose to run your engine off propane, be careful whenever you open up the carburetor bowl, because it stinks. I have a camping trip in a couple days, actually, like 3 days, and I'm trying to think of all the stuff I need to take. I'm probably going to bring one 12-volt lead-acid battery. This one. So I can run this little inverter. I'll just be using this just to charge my camera, and I might power a laptop or something so I can move the data from my SD card onto a hard drive or something like that, because I only have one 32 gigabyte SD card that is a class 10. The other ones are a little too slow to capture high speed in case I want to do that. Oh, I see some water droplets. Well, that was actually a pretty quick rain. Very surprised by that. Anyway, today I had a really pleasant surprise. Usually Wednesday, which is today, I mow the yard. Well, I didn't have to because my neighbor mowed it for me. Not these neighbors, but the neighbors across the house, in the yellow house down there. You see, they own this little strip of land right here, because it's the abutment or driveway for that patch of land they own back there. Well, it's kind of far away from the house, so they forget to mow it, so I mow it for them. I charge them like $2 a week. They haven't been paying me for a couple months. I really don't care, because last year, it's not very difficult to mow, and pretty much to mow it last year, they gave me twice as much money as what it costs in propane, because it only costs like $12 a year in propane to mow it. Well, evidently, my neighbor got a really nice commercial mower. It looks like a big Husqvarna or whatever, and he just mowed my yard and his yard in like 3 minutes. So that was pretty nice. I didn't have to get out and mow. And he did a really good job too. And I have to say that mower is pretty powerful because it really ate up one of these bricks. My mower would die on that. So I was going through my room looking for my helmet, and I found it. But I also found something else. The laptop batteries I was going to finish my bicycle battery pack with. These are the nice Sanyo and Panasonic cells. I stuffed them down here. Look at that. Bit too fucking late now. Already bought the other cells and built the other battery pack. Oh well. At least I have a bunch of good battery packs now. These are 12 cell packs. An oil filter. I'll put that out in the shed. Doesn't need to be in here. Didn't know I had a third Nintendo 64. Huh. The stuff you find. And this box is a bunch of 8mm films. Just ones that I picked up at yard sales and stuff. I'm not actually a big fan of 8mm film. I prefer 16mm because it's better quality. And this box. Oh. I wonder if this will go to my typewriter. It works nicely. And here I was going to look around at yard sales for other ones, but I happen to have like a pack of 9 or so already. Pretty cool. If I ever have to write anything up, I'll probably just use a typewriter because it'd be a lot easier than writing it out myself or having to print it out on a computer and then type it up on a computer then print it out. It'd be a lot easier just to use this. Not counting, I like the style of this. This is the very first Selectric typewriter model ever produced. So for camping, I would have a 12-volt battery from here going into this inverter, stepping up to 120 volts AC, then through this thing, stepping it down to 5 volts DC to charge my camera, just in case it runs out, which it probably won't run out. Then it occurred to me, my mom has a bunch of these. They go from 12 volts to 5 volts directly. So I wonder if I can just break this open and rewire it so it has 2 alligator clips coming out, like this, so I can connect it directly to the battery without having the stupid little plug type thing for a car. And then I can just use this for powering a laptop or something. For the wires with the alligator clips, I'll just take one of these jumpers and cut it in half. I'm pretty sure the center pin on the barrel connectors, or whatever they're called, for automobile connectors, are positive. So, let's try this. Well, look at that. Turned on. Looks pretty good to me. 5.09 volts. Okay, so for on the camping trip, there's a very good chance that it'll rain in the mornings and evenings. So I'm probably going to empty out this container and put all my stuff in there. So it'll be waterproof. Inside this pan were all my parts to my petrol pump. And I found this. A roll of duct tape from 1992. It's older than me. It says Manco Incorporated 1992 in there. That'll be something to keep. So some of the highlights of that box were this little thermometer that my mom used to have in her 1988 and a half Ford Escort. This coin, don't know for sure what it is. I think it's just like an arcade token. Looks kind of cheap, kind of like the Dairy Queen token. This Terminator block, still in package, from February of 1989. This was my great-grandparents. 3 more rolls of tape from 1992. So that makes like a complete little museum piece, I guess. A little collection piece. I guess my great-grandparents were doing something to their house, right, like rebuilding or something in 1992 to necessitate buying much tape. Then I have this old Pinko ceramic insulator. I'll have to do some research on seeing what age that is. Maybe like 1940s or 30s or so. But I've heard that ceramics are actually later, so maybe 1960s. Don't know. Oh, and this is a carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide, can't remember, safety rebreather or safety filter thing from a mine, for a coal mine. If the carbon monoxide levels got too high, you could open this up and breathe through the filter in there, which would filter out the carbon monoxide. Oh, so now I have the box empty. Pretty awesome. And I also almost forgot to bring this. My old... Oh, hey, there's still stuff in here. My geology kit. Should probably take some of these rocks out so I have more room. It's now the next day, and I'm leaving in probably like 16 hours or so in the morning. Both battery packs are charged. I'm now charging up my LED flashlight. I have the box cleaned out and it's inside. I have my geology bag, a big computer power supply to power my IMAX B6, the base of my tripod, a couple tools thrown in the bottom. Then I have my backpack with various bits and bobs, like I have a couple of these really cheap multimeters. They're $3 for these. Couldn't pass them up. I'm probably going to take one and tape it to my bicycle so I can use that as a voltmeter. Have like inverters and extra camera and stuff. Little things, mostly for filming. For the past couple of weeks I've been tinkering around with making a cooling vest to help out Adam Savage with his overheating issues he has in his cosplay at Comic-Con. And also because it's been one of those projects I've been wanting to build for a long time but just never got around to it. But now I have some of the parts to actually build it. I was trying to figure out how to make a heat exchanger, so I have 2 Peltier coolers connected between 2 heat sinks. They worked really good, except for the fact is I couldn't get the heat out of the liquid fast enough. I couldn't find a good tube that could go through it or anything like that. So I was going to just not make any video about it, but I think I will still tinker with it. Instead of having this pump the cool liquid through this tubing in a closed circuit, I'll make it an open circuit. It won't be mobile, but it'll be a good first test. I have this Peltier refrigerator. I'm going to fill it up with water, and it'll have plenty of surface area to cool the water. And then I'll just simply wrap this hose around me and start pumping the water through it and see if that helps me cool down. Because it's probably going to be pretty hot when I go camping. So I tried this system before with aquarium tubing, which would have been a nice and flexible amount, but unfortunately I can't find any adapters for this tubing. Oh well. This should be better. Unfortunately this tubing's pretty thick. Let's see how it does though. This is my old camera battery I made a long time ago for my Samsung WB100. Hey, that's awesome. Look at that. Okay, now I have some water in there and I have it all transferred over. I have the thermometer in there. Reading 77.6 degrees. Let's bring up the voltage. So it's been about a half hour and I've raised the voltage up till it has 3 amps of current going through it. And it's only gone down like 6 degrees. It really doesn't feel cold at all. That thing just doesn't have the thermal capacity to cool me, I don't think. So for this test, I'm going to be using this heat exchanger with 2 Peltier coolers and a PC fan, with just the bottom cooling heatsink in the liquid, and then it's pumping through. It's at 76.0 degrees. Let's bring the amps, so it limits the amps. There we go. So the temperature wasn't going down very far, so I wrapped the tube around my stomach underneath my shirt like this. I have about 4 loops around it, and whenever I run it, the temperature goes up a lot. So this, even the small amount of surface area to my body is conveying enough heat to overload these Peltier coolers. Yeah, it's just going up. Awesome. Done packing. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I think I'm packed up nicely. Aside from that box, I also bring my bicycle, my lamp, my IMAX-B6, the battery, and my IBM ThinkPad X24. And also probably an extra tripod. I also found this at Walmart. It's a cool little bag. It's a zip bag. You can unzip it, and it's one long piece of cloth. I also think the face is really cute. I'll just use this to hold money and stuff like that for the trip. Well, hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. See ya!